Hi everybody, this is Derek from Ada Community Library. Welcome back to our Coder Dojo summer series where we're learning some computer programming using Scratch and some projects. This week we have a new project and it's going to be a game, and you'll see some things that we saw in previous projects again here. This week's project is titled Ghostbusters, and it's a kind of a Halloween themed game, if you will, ghosts and goblins. And so we can go ahead and go over to this link to see the project and see the steps, and I'll be leading you through those steps today. If you want to pause here to get this link and go to this page, you can, and we will take a look and see how it works. Also, this project we will incorporate some pauses between actions within some loops we're going to create. We're going to generate random numbers, and we're going to add variables to keep score in our game. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and scoot over to that web link and we'll take a look at the Ghostbusters game here. Okay, I have it up on my screen. So I'm going to scroll over down here. If you're on this page, you can try this out. If not, you can just watch. So here's our project, a completed project. I'm going to hit the green flag to start the game. And our characters are randomly appearing there. And we want to try to click on those characters to try to get a high score within the time here. And so that game, the time is up. If you'll look on the left side corner here, there's a score. Looks like I got 8 of those characters. I clicked on 8 of those characters with my mouse, and the timer over here counted down from. We didn't have much time to work with, so that's kind of the challenge of the game. And you can, when you do this project, you can modify and make it slower, faster, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and now hop over to our Scratch application here on the Scratch website. And I think everyone, if you've been doing some of these projects, know about the Scratch website and how to get logged in, so I'm not going to go through any of that. We're just going to get started. So in this project, we don't really need Scratchy the cat, so we're going to go ahead and take the Scratchy sprite out of here. Oops. And to do that, what we want to do is scroll down here, and this is where the Scratchy sprite is showing, and we're going to just click on that right corner there with the trash can, and that'll get rid of that Scratchy sprite. Okay, so what we're going to want to do now is go ahead and get a new, let's do a backdrop first. Alright, so if you go over here to the lower right corner, we'll click on choose a backdrop. And then in here we can go ahead and scroll through and find a background. So you can use the background I'm using, or you can choose whatever you want. It could be in a house, on a beach, so on. I'm going to go ahead and choose the outdoors here and look for kind of a nighttime scene here in the woods is the one I'm going to choose. Okay, and then when I click on that, that should load into your Scratch program. Okay. Now, before we go any further, let's go ahead and keep good habits here, and let's name our project. So right up here, right next to where I'm at on the video here on the top of the screen, is a field where we can type in a file name. So go ahead and click in that field there, and you can hit the delete key on your keyboard, and you can rename your project, and it can be whatever you want. I'm going to just stick with Ghostbusters, and I'll put my name on it here. Just help me remember this is my version of it. Okay, and then you can, excuse me, hit the the key and save that. Okay. All right. So the next thing we need is our first sprite, our character there, and so we can go to choose a sprite, and this will take us into the excuse me, Sprite Library, and then there's all these different categories. I think if we go to fantasy, that's where we're going to find some of these kind of characters we're looking for the theme of this game. So you scroll down here, you can see some kind of characters that fit that. And I'm going to go ahead and choose the ghost here and put him. He should load right into the game there. Okay, and then I'll give you a second to choose yours and get that sprite on the stage. And of course, if you need to, pause this video and you can get to where you need to be here, and then we'll continue on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started coding our ghost here. So the first thing we're going to want to do is make sure your ghost or whatever character you chose is highlighted down here. And then we're going to go ahead and go over here to the motion button on the blocks of code. And we're going to get click on the events button and get the when the green flag is clicked. And of course that's referring to the green flag up here, which starts our project, our application that we're building. Okay, so if you'll notice when we played the game, we demoed it, the ghost was appearing and disappearing and that kind of thing. And so we're going to go ahead and get some code to do that. So go over here to the looks button, click on the looks button there on the code tab, and we're going to scroll down and we're going to grab a show and a hide block. Okay, and as the game's going, he's going to continuously be popping in and out of the screen. So we're going to need a loop for that. So we click on the control button there, and then we're going to grab a forever block. Okay. And let's see what else. And we also need to time this out. And otherwise, this probably isn't going to work too well. We could try it out, but I think I'm going to just get another block of code for waiting in here. Okay. So let's go ahead and we still on the same control button, and there's a wait 1 second block, so let's grab that. Okay, and then let's go ahead and put all that together. Okay, so we're gonna put the forever loop in there, and then initially the ghost is going to be hidden when we click the green flag. And then it's going to be a little bit of a pause, so you can put the wait 1 second or maybe longer in there. Next, and then he's going to show up on the screen. Okay, so go ahead and you can click and try this out. You can click right on the block of code itself. You should see him popping in and out there. Wow, he's going fast. Or you can hit the green flag up here, and that also runs the code. Okay. And right now, I don't even know if you can see him. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit more time. He's flashing in and out of the screen so quickly. I'm going to change it to 2 seconds. And I don't know if the video is capturing this. I'm going to just change the time for a little bit longer to 5 seconds. Okay. And hopefully you're seeing him now there on the video, and if not, you should be seeing him on your computer, wherever you're working from. Okay. Alright, so I think you guys get the idea, so let's go ahead and move on. So So the next thing we're going to want to do is make this a little bit more random as far as where he's appearing on the stage, instead of just popping in and out in the same spot constantly. So this is pretty simple, but go ahead and think about what kind of code we want for him to be moving around, to going to different places. Okay, and if you went to the motion button over here, you had the right idea. So look at this, go to random position. Okay, so that's what we need to get that going. And you can go ahead and plug that in if you want. And there's a couple different ways to do this. You could also use the go to X and Y position block over here if you want, and then you could put in an operator for random here. So just another way to do it. But we're going to go ahead and try this go to random position and try that. Let's go ahead and click on it and see what happens now. Okay. And one other thing, he's popping in and out so long, and the waiting is taking too long, I think. So let's go ahead and go back over to the control button, and let's grab another wait block. And we can go ahead and put that down here. So he's hidden, and then there's a pause. He goes to random position and then shows up. And then let's go ahead and change the time here. So yeah, maybe he's on the screen for a couple seconds. Let's try 2. And I'm going to change this wait 5 seconds block to less waiting time. Let's do 1 second. Let's go ahead and try that out. Okay. There we go. Alright, that's pretty cool. Alright, so we'll leave it like that for now. If you want to play with those numbers in the wait blocks and make him pop out faster, slower, you can go ahead and do that. Customize it. Okay. Alright, so from here we can go ahead and we can also do something to change the size of him when he does pop out on this stage here in our game. So you can go ahead to the looks button and look for the set size block. And let's see here. Okay. So there is a size block here, and you'll see that this popped up on the screen here. We don't really need to see that, so we can just click that off. Click the checkbox off of that. And let's see here. So here's set size. We'll click that, pull that out, and then and then from here you can do pick random. And these numbers here in the pick random, that was from the operators button over here. You can see the sizes for him you can change quite a bit. So I'm just going to do 1 to 3 or something like that. Okay. And we'll go ahead and pop that block in there, and let's try it again. Okay, so wow, I just saw him pop up here on the screen, and he was tiny. And look at there, he's tiny there. Okay, so these numbers need to be, I think, need to be worked on here. Pick random. So that was tiny at 1 to 3% is normal size. Oh, well, that's part of the problem. Let's do 50%. How's that? To 100%. So half of his normal size would be 50%, 100% would be full size. So let's go ahead and try that. Okay, that looks a little better. Now we can actually see him. Okay, yeah. So I think that's much better than what he was doing a minute ago when he was just a 3% size. So you can play with that more if you want. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue on. Okay, so now what we want to do for our game is when you click on the ghost, we want him to disappear. Okay. So for that, we're going to go ahead and go over here to, let's see here. Yeah, go over here to the events button. Okay, and there should be a when the sprite is clicked. Okay, and then you can drag that and put that right over there. And you can just put that separate from our other block of code that we've created so far, okay? And when the sprite is clicked, we want him to hide, so guess what? This is pretty easy. Go over here to the looks button and grab a hide block there, okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and once you get that code in there, hit the green flag, start the game, and try clicking on the ghost, okay? Okay, so it looks like it's working here. See, if I don't click on the ghost, he sticks around for a little longer. If I do click on the ghost, it disappears. Okay, so that's code is running like it's supposed to. All right. So most video games, the last time I checked, have some music and some sounds, right? Sound effects and so on. So let's go ahead and add some sound to this whenever we click on that ghost. So for that, we're going to go over here and go over to the Sounds tab. Okay, and then there's already something preloaded in here, but we don't. I'm not going to go with this. This is a so that's cool, but I don't think we really need that for this one. Instead, we can go ahead and go down here to the lower left corner and go into our sound library. Okay, so there's all kinds of different sounds in here. I'm going to choose something that's kind of a fast sound effect since we're clicking and things are moving along pretty quickly. So it's up to you. You could go into the effects. I think I'm going to go into percussion because I want something that's kind of like maybe like a drum kind of sound or something that's happens fast and is over quickly. Okay. So there's some great sound effects in here, but we need something that's gonna not be playing for too long. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the finger snap. You can choose whatever you want. Okay, and that'll load into our sounds tab. But go ahead and go back over here now. Once you've chosen one of those, go back over here to the code tab. Okay, and then let's go ahead and get that code in there. So when are we going to want this sound effect to happen? Let's go ahead and click on the sound. Okay. And how about if we put it on the when this sprite is clicked block over there? So let's go ahead and try that. And try that out here. Okay. Okay. So whenever I click on the ghost, you hear that little sound effect happen there, okay? So additionally, you could put some music that's playing continuously as the game is going. And you could find that in the sound loops samples that are in the sound library there, and that would make it kind of fun, have like a little soundtrack going for your game. So just a thought. So let's go ahead and keep going, and let's get that scorekeeper variable going now. Now, if you guys will remember from our previous projects, a variable in computer programming is a container for information in your project, and that could be a number, a name, and so on. So container, kind of like think of a cardboard box, and you could put different things in the cardboard box, toys, old clothes, you name it. So let's go ahead and create a new variable, and we're going to go over here to the code tab and go down to the variables button there. We're creating a new one, so we're going to go ahead and click on make a variable, and then this is going to pop up, and then we can name it whatever we want. I'm going to name it score, and then you're going to want to choose for this sprite only, okay, and then you can click OK. So now up here on the screen you should see your score box. Now if you want, you can do a right click on this and you can do a different look. You could do a large readout. There's a slider one, which you don't really need in this case, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as is with the first display option there. And you'll notice that the ghost's the sprite name for the ghost is on there, and then the score is on there, so that's showing that it's associated there. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead now and we are going to also, well, first thing we're going to do is stay on the variables tab there, and we're going to go to whenever you click on that ghost, the score is going to change. So pretty simple here, change my variable by 1, okay, and then we're going to stick that right, where do you think this is going to go? Whenever you click on the sprite, right? So if that's what you guessed, then we'll go ahead and pop that right in there. Now we want to change not the my variable, but if you click right on the field there, we're going to change the score, okay? And we're going to change the score by 1. So let's go ahead and run that. And take a look at the score up here whenever you click that ghost. Okay, you should see the score changing. Okay, so hopefully that's working for you. And we're going to go ahead and move on. So now, in the example, I think you remember there was also a timer on the game, so we're going to go ahead and set that up next. So let's go ahead and now this time we're going to instead of doing, oops, you stop that. Instead of clicking on the ghost sprite here, we're going to go ahead and click on the stage. Okay, and we're going to put the code on the stage for this next step for the timer. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back up here to the events button, and when green flag is clicked, block. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and go back down to the variables button again here. And now we're going to check the set, my variable, to put that on there. And again, we're going to want to not have the variable, my variable, but the, let's see here. Oh, we need to create a new one here. Let's do that first. Sorry about that. Let's click this off of here. And just like we did with the score variable, we're going to do another one for the timer. So you can name this whatever you want. Okay. All right. So now I'll go ahead and go back to that set my variable to 0, and when you click on it, you should have timer instead. So make sure that the timer that you have here is spelled the exact same way as the one here. If you have something different, it's not going to work. So let's go ahead and you can put the timer over here on this side of the stage. And I think just to have a little bit of difference, I'm going to right click and I'm going to do large readout. And just so the timer, just so it looks a little bit different from the score. You can do whatever you want with yours, but that's what I'm going to leave it at for mine. Okay, so when the green flag is clicked, set timer to, we're not going to put 0. We can put in any number you want. You could put in 10, you could put in 20, whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to do 10. Okay, and you can change, you can do whatever you want for yours. Okay, and let's go ahead and try that out. Okay, and you should see a 10 over here in the timer variable, and it's not doing anything now. So the next thing we need to do is get the countdown there. So for that, we're going to go ahead and go over here. And let's see, where's my mouse? Okay. And we're going to get the change my variable block here, bring that out. Okay, and then we're going to choose timer. Okay, and now in the game it's going to be counting down from 10 to 0. So we're going to want it to be continuously going. But not forever, just a certain amount of time. So we want to get another loop. This time we're going to get the repeat loop. Okay, I'm going to put that out here. Okay. All right, and then change timer by 1. We don't want it to add a point. We want it to subtract a point. So we're going to put -1 in there instead. Okay. And then we want that to repeat. So go ahead and click on it, and let's just see what happens. Okay, so over here you should have seen the timer go right to 0. Oops. Okay, so it worked, but it worked so quickly. It changed. It went from 10 up here to 0 so quickly, and so obviously we need to slow it down a little bit, so the timer is doing counting down each second. Okay, so for that we're going to want to go over here and get a wait until block from the control button there, and we're going to put wait. Let's see. Oops, that's wait until. We just want to have wait. All right, let's find. Let's see here. Wait 1 second. Sorry, I'm getting mixed around here. So there's the wait 1 second block, and so guess what? We're just going to put that right there. And let's go ahead and click on that block. Just click on this block itself, and look at the timer there. Okay, so the time here is working, but it's going in the wrong direction. Go ahead and click on the green flag. Okay, and the timer's still not doing anything. So what we need to do is go ahead and connect it to the rest and try that. And now if you look over here, it should be counting down from 10 to 0, okay? And changes every second, okay? Alright, so hopefully that's working for you. If not, you can pause this video, rewind, take a look at your code. And another thing I noticed is, hopefully you guys can see everything here today on the web browser. If for at any time if the code here is hard to see, I know this is on a YouTube video. You can click on the down in the corner of the screen, and you can make it go to full screen so you can see everything much bigger. Okay, so back to our game design. So after we have the timer working and we have the score variable working, but once it's over, look what happens here. It stays the same, and then we hit go again. The timer resets. So that's good. The score, though, is staying the same. So we need to get that to clear out and go back to 0. So for that, we're going to go down here to the variables. And this time we're going to, excuse me, we're going to want to look for the set block. And then we're going to go ahead and put that up there. And this time we're going to, let's see here. Let's check this out here. Okay, so we're going to need to create a score variable. Okay, I looked on when I clicked on this, I noticed that there's no score variable from the drop-down menu, so we need to do that. So go ahead and you can just get rid of this for a minute if you want. And this is good practice for creating variables. Let's go back up here, make a variable, and variable name will be score. And okay, this is telling us that there's already one that exists. So let me take a look here. Oh, I see. This score variable is over here. So this is good. The stage is selected here, and what we want to do is go back to the ghost sprite here. And this is where our score variable is lives, if you will. So now let's go ahead and get another set block and bring this out. We can put it up here by the green flag. Okay, and then what we're going to do is set the score to 0. Okay, so every time you click the green flag, go ahead and try it out. The score should reset to 0, and you should see a 0 there, and the game starts. And then as you click, the score starts going again. Okay, you press stop up here, start again. You should see your score go back to 0. Okay, and clear out. Okay, so oops, let's see what we have left here. Okay, so from here, it's our game is pretty much done. What you can do is we just got to start on it, really, and what you can do is you can add more sprites to your game, and more challenges, more opportunities to make to get a bigger score. You know, you could go into the Sprite Library here and choose some more characters for your game and put them out on the stage. And essentially, you can do the same kind of code here that you did with the Ghost with more characters. And you could make things more interesting too. You could code them to be maybe going across the stage, popping in and out. You know, use your imagination. More sound effects, so on. And so that's pretty much it. So I'm going to leave it at that. And this game is, after the previous weeks, I'd say this should be pretty comfortable and familiar to you by now. Some of the concepts here and the project itself hopefully went smoothly for you. If it didn't, no worries. You can go back and check your code and just play around with it. Don't forget to take a break every so often. You don't want to be staring at the screen for too long, and come back later. So I think we're going to go ahead and call it a day here. Last week's project went over an hour long, so I'll go easy on you guys today and give you a shorter one. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm going to clear out of that for a moment and pop back in. And next week we're going to meet again, and it's going to be same YouTube link on the website, and it'll be August 4th. And we'll do something a little different next week. I have something else in mind, and I don't want to give it away now, but basically it's going to have something to do with creating your own story in Scratch, okay? With characters, and maybe they'll be talking and doing things like that. So something different. It should be fun. And if you want to do previous projects, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out Ada Community Library's YouTube channel here at this link, go.adalib.org/YouTube, and you can find some more projects from the previous weeks, okay? And if not, we will see you again next week. And thanks so much for joining us, and hope you have a great week. Take care.